Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are doing another post-race commentary. We're here at Watkins Glen for our first race, and we're going to be in the McLaren 720S here. We're starting in 18th out of 20th, and I did forget to show you guys the tune here at the beginning of this race, but I will show it to you guys before the start of the next race, because I did remember after the fact. But we were able to run I want to say like a 147.3 in practice, but unfortunately in this race, if you see that Porsche in the red and white up there on the right hand side, we are going to get stuck behind that guy for most of the race, despite our race pace, once we finally do get past him, being 2 seconds faster in a lap. So, you know, unfortunately, sometimes that's just the way it goes. It was a good battle, it was a clean battle, you know, but after how this race went, in our next race in the video, I held my line a little bit more. There were a few more bumps. I don't think anything was dirty. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. There was one corner where you know, we went 3 wide through a corner that shouldn't have been 3 wide, and I think I clearly had the inside, and it just yeah, it didn't turn out great. It was a 3-way wreck between Porsches, but we'll talk about that in the next race when it comes up. Here in this race, we are up here into P13, getting some impatient bumps from the guy behind. And then here, this is kind of where we get stuck behind the Porsche for the rest of, well, almost the rest of this race. Unfortunately, had I been a little bit more quick to react, I might have been able to get up his inside when that incident happened, but unfortunately I was expecting him to turn in, and then I could go through the ghost around the outside, but he stayed wide, and we wound up bumping the back of him. But anyway, here in 12th, and got this Lamborghini here, which, you know, has the top speed advantage, so he's gonna come past here on this straight. Maybe we do hold him off this go around. There is gonna be might be the next lap where things kind of get tricky through there, but catching back up to this Porsche here, the Mini 094205. A lot of numbers there. But basically, for the next couple of laps, or, you know, lap and a half or so, it's gonna be trying to get by this guy and trying to hold off AVS Blitzkrieg behind us there. I mean, fair play to this guy in the Porsche. He did do a really good job of defending his position, but I gotta tell you, it was very frustrating having to you know, just getting stuck here. It's just very, very frustrating race. But, you know, like I said, fair play to him for his good defending. You know, and we do eventually get around him and get to do a proper lap without having to be slowed down so much, and I think our lap where we get around him winds up being like 2.1 seconds faster. But anyway, we're still just kind of in this battle here, trying to break into the top 10. I think right here, no, it's a similar interaction going into the bus stop on the next lap, where I do finally get the move done. It is probably a little bit on the aggressive side, but I don't think it's anything unsportsmanlike or unfair or anything like that. I think it's just kind of I got to a point where I was like, all right, dude, like, I've been nice, I've given you tons of space, I need you to get out of the way now, so I'm gonna take this position. And we do get it done. I mean, as you can see, it's just super close racing, and he's just on the better line, and it just prevents us from getting around. Now, right here was probably my best opportunity to get by him. Unfortunately, there was a bump there, and that kind of slowed us down a little bit. So he was able to stay in front. But coming up here on the last lap, this is gonna be where we eventually, and see right here, I was getting so frustrated, I accidentally changed camera angle or camera view. But yeah, coming up here, my patience is starting to wear thin with this guy, so I'm gonna use the slipstream, get alongside, and be just fast enough to stay in front here. And then basically from here, over the next really 2 corners, this one and the next one, we pull more than a second gap, which winds up being just kind of showing the difference in pace that we had, that we just were unfortunately unable to show for most of the race. And here, I was really like, oh man, this is a big group, they're right there, they're battling it out. Like, let's see if we can't close the gap and maybe get another position before the end of the race. And as you can see, I mean, they're all super close together there. Anything could have happened through these last couple of corners to give us one more position, but unfortunately, this is where we're gonna finish, I believe. I can't remember that guy with the 1 second penalty up there. I don't think we're close enough to him at the end of the race, especially when we bang off the wall like that. But you saw the guy behind with us 1.7 seconds behind by the finish. So, and you can see there that our pace for the race was closer to the top 3, or the top 2, I should say, than anybody else. So, unfortunately, just got caught in traffic. And I mean, that's one of the risks you take starting from the back. But overall, I think it probably made for a more interesting race. I know I've seen y'all's comments, and that that some of y'all want to see me racing more from the front. So we'll sprinkle that in. Here real quick is where I showed you guys the tune for the McLaren. It's ESV Breeze, and if you like the livery, it was by Blues Bros. But we're here at Suzuka for our next race, and we're in the Porsche 92. I think it's 929 RSR, right? Or is it the 911 RSR? What's the number? Number 92. That's where I'm getting the 929 from. Ignore me. I'm dumb sometimes. Anyway, here's the tune, JDM Nismo. The paint job, which I think is pretty cool looking, by Variable Beast 66. Starting here in 20th out of 23. So, pretty full lobby here. And I believe that we're going to hop into it here in just a second. So, as I mentioned in the previous race, we were a little bit more sticking to my guns, I guess, in this race, when it came to the racing line and things like that. It starts off kind of right there, you know. I don't know if the dude just turned in on me or what, but you know, again, just kind of, I felt like there wasn't really any space being left there. And I mean, you'll see, I really try to avoid hitting people as much as possible. I mean, we're right on this guy's bumper, avoiding contact, you know. And I want to say for the first lap or so, that this, you know, that we don't really make up a ton of ground. Right here, this is the incident that I'm talking about. I don't know whose fault that is. If it's my fault, then I guess I'm just a butthead. But I in the moment, I didn't feel like that was on me. I feel like that was kind of on the guy in the middle, or even the guy on the outside that wound up in the gravel. But you know, it happened. It is what it is. If it's my bad, you guys let me know, and I'll do better next time. This group here, I believe, is in a battle for the next lap or so, before it starts to change up a little bit. I'm gonna turn the... I don't know how the volume is for the recording. It's a little bit low for the game volume in my headset, but looking at the mixer, it looks like it should be okay. Hopefully it turns out alright. That little exchange there was kind of interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of stuck to my guns a little bit more. I don't feel like I did anything dirty. I think I just kind of decided, like, hey, I'm gonna hold my line, and, you know, sometimes some contact happened, but it's the battle of the Porsches and the Ferraris here over this next lap. You know, there's the 3 Porsches right there and the 2 Ferraris. So, a lot of close racing. Here, I'm not sure why that guy went so wide. I felt like I left him plenty of room and he just kind of freaked out a little bit and wound up turning too much to the right. So I don't know what he thought was going to happen there, but unfortunately he drove himself off the track. So we're up here into 10th on lap 2, about halfway through lap 2. Coming through the hairpin on the back of this yellow Ferrari here. Trying to pull away from the Porsche behind. Not sure why the Ferrari just kind of stomped on his brakes there. I thought that was kind of weird, so I went ahead and used the momentum and our braking to jump up the inside of him there. And as you can see, this battle between the Porsches and the Ferraris has continued all the way here to the coming up on the end of the second lap. And I don't know what that guy's deal was, but this yellow Ferrari, I guess, saw that and either didn't take too kindly to it or is just very aggressive. And then here, we're gonna kind of get the crap end of that exchange between the 3 of them. And Isaac Herbie, who had been behind us for a while, just kind of snuck on through up there. So another race with some traffic issues, but you know, again, I think that, and I know some of you guys might disagree, and I don't know what happened during that little exchange between them, but unfortunately we did bump there, which may have made it a little bit worse, but it is what it is. Anyway, I know some of you guys really want to see me fight for the lead and stuff, and I will go ahead and start sprinkling some of those races in for you guys. I just, you know, I mean, you see this race going on right now, and it's, you know, it's just had a lot of super close racing, and I mean, I think for the most part, clean racing. Here, I think this guy freaked out about the way that Porsche was going to rejoin and just really hit the brakes way too early. Unfortunately, the Porsche just kind of quit, which, you know, I wish people would not do so much, but it is what it is. So here behind this Ferrari Epic Javelins, obviously pulling away on the straights here. We'll catch him up a little bit under braking and a little bit around this corner, but coming back onto the straight here, he's going to pull away. So we'll just kind of tuck in the draft, get as much of it as possible for as long as possible, and try to hold off Stewie Funky 89 back there, who, despite not having a draft, is kind of catching up to me in the Ferrari strap. So that he's got that GT3 tuned up real nice. Thankfully here there was space given, and so you know, that was very much appreciated. And I think that he is going to come back on us up the inside of this next corner. He's going to have just enough speed and go just late enough on the brakes to, yeah. But I think, yeah, see, and our battling has let this Porsche behind catch up. He's given us a little bit of a bump there, but I don't think it was intentional. But as you can see, we are getting slowed down by the Ferrari quite a bit here. And here we're trying to hang it around the outside. I forgot exactly how that exchange went, but dangerous racing there. We do get the move done right there, and Stewie Funky here has almost 2.5 seconds in penalties, so you know, as long as we stay close enough to him, we should be able to at least bring home the P7. It looks like there was an incident between that Lamborghini up there, and I didn't quite catch what was in front of him, but I did run one lap on softs in practice, just to kind of see what pace I had on the guys qualifying at the front, and they were running a 201 something, and I ran a 202 3, I believe, on the softs, and then I ran like a 203 7 on the mediums. So well off of that pace here in this race, but yeah, see, unfortunately their Polar Penguin had a little bit of a rough exchange with Stewie Funky, who had a few exchanges that were a little bit less than pleasant. But anyway, we did stay in range of him to go ahead and actually bring home a P6 here, even though our pace was absolutely awful. You know, just being in the right place at the right time, I think, did a lot of that for us. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it from me. If you did enjoy this video, I hope you'll consider leaving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And I hope to catch y'all in the next one.